the next one is taxes. So I'm going to stop. Guillermina, are you going to share your screen?
Yeah, I'll try to share my screen here.
Let me make it available to you. Okay, go ahead.
So hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I think Carly and Leah did a phenomenal job in setting the foundation for what we're moving on to. How do we process the taxing that all of us, as we say, you don't die. The only two things for sure that happen in life is paying taxes and dying, and that's so true. So I'm going to try to go through this. I extracted the content from the policy that is part of what we, the Financing Committee, have been working on. So just an overview, which is something that has already been covered, but reminding you that NAHN is a nonprofit organization. We do have a tax exempt status, a 501c3, which is a provision of the IRS code since 1986. So the good thing is that all our chapters fall under the umbrella of the association. I remember when I was president of the El Paso chapter, we had to fill in some forms, some tax forms, and send it to national, and it was a very blurry process. But so what we're trying to do is we're trying to streamline and make it as clear as possible so that we can move forward. So the bottom line is that a tax filing has to be, it will be occurring on a yearly basis at a personal level, but in this case, we're talking about organization and specifically the chapters and how they merge into come together with a national. So we have outlined the procedure that we will follow. So the first thing is that, and I didn't want to put the MCI name here because the company may or may not change in the future, but NAHN is the association management company, is the one that assists all chapters. Whoever our management company is, that's who is at hand along with the treasurer to get us through the process. Every January, you will get a notice from the tax process, and the forms will be sent to you via email. They will be sent to two persons. It will be sent to the chapter president and the treasurer. And remember, Lida talked about always having two people, and so did Carly. And so it's a good idea because there's always a fallback person that if that email was not responded to, somebody else can pick it up. And in the other hand, is part of the leadership team. Your treasurer is not just keeping track of what goes in and out, but is also part of the process in the tax filing. You will receive assistance at all time from NAHN management company and from the treasurer. And I have found that since Carly came on and the new company is on board, they have been highly responsive to our questions and our needs. So the NAHN's treasurer is available for questions at all times. Carly shared with you the dates to observe for the quarter, the opening and closing of the first quarter, and that's when actually the tax time comes. So in January, that's when you get the notice, and then the tax form is due to be sent to national by the 1st of March. So you have those 3 months to get it done so that the process and the end of your closing will take place for the entire association. And all these are essential components to keep us going, to show our accountability as well as the viability of our organization. It's just part of being fiduciary responsible. So what happens if we do follow the process and we don't? Well, number one, I think directly to the chapters, if the submission is completed, then the rebate that was talked about by Carly, the process will be followed and you will get your money as you are supposed to in the quarter. And then if you don't do it, then the negative aspect of it is that the rebate will be withheld and you will be short of money until that gets done or until all the resolution has been cleared. So once all the chapters turn in their tax documents, NAHN coordinates in the agreement with an auditor that has already been, that will be contracted to file the taxes on behalf of the chapter and the national. And as I told you, in the chapters fall under the umbrella of the national. So you don't have to send anything to the IRS. It is non-national that will take care of this. So in response to the process, the Association Management Company, which right now is the MCI, and then the NAHN treasurer will respond to the auditor's questions and make sure all the issues related to monies, any questions, any discrepancies are addressed before they are sent to the IRS. So NAHN budgets for the auditor's cost, so you don't have to pay anything. Your chapter doesn't pay anything for that. And again, it is filed on behalf of all of us, the individual chapters. So the team has done an excellent job in delineating the process. So I put this quote: save the ink and use the link. So here's the link. It's in SurveyMonkey. It has 8 questions, and we will go through it so that you can see how easy it is to submit that. The only requirement that you would have, of course, is to have your EIN number, which is the employer identification number that is given to the business. And that would be something that each chapter will have. So that's what you will need at hand. So let's go ahead and look at this website and go through it. So I'm going to stop sharing this, and then I'm going to bring up the Can you all see the screen of the NAHN chapter?
Yep.
Okay, so you see the SurveyMonkey? Okay, so you go through the link, and you see here's where you will start the process. So you just hit OK. And the first line is you got to name your chapter. What is the name of your chapter? The name that is registered in your EIN number. If you have any other names that the chapter has been identified by, you go ahead and enter it here just to make sure that we have clarity, we can track it, and we can merge the accounts as we can compare and make sure that we have the correct information. The next one, it asks you whether you have a website, and if so, you list the website here, you copy the link here. And so why is that important? It solidifies that you are part of the NAHN chapter. It also provides information on what activities are going on. So this is very important when you start talking about what Lida talked about. If there are any activities that you have a lot going on, like raffles, donations, and all that, is in a sense a way for us to take a glance and make sure that there is a match to what is being reported in general and overall. And I'm not so sure how much the IRS will look into that. And this number 4 is, what is your chapter EIN number? This is important. Remember, Carly mentioned that when national files on as an organization and all the chapters fall within that umbrella, they will list how many chapters we have and the EIN numbers corresponding to each of the chapters. So this is the importance of having the number. Make sure you verify, make sure that you carefully look at all those numbers, that they are correct. And then number 5 is for those chapters who may be extremely active with a lot of revenue coming in or many other things that may be. And I remember Lyra talk about incorporation. This is for chapters that have more than $50,000 in revenue. If you were to have that much in revenue and you say yes, you do not need to explain anymore in this form. National will go ahead and contact you and the treasurer, and they will address that with you and make sure that the process is followed completely. So you do not have to write details in this report. This is just a general report that will be filed, but then on the side, National will contact you. So it's yes or no, and then that would alert National. In number 6 is for you to list the name and addresses, the principal officers for your chapter. And this is a way of tracking. Remember, depends on how long your board serves, but it's a minimum of 2 years. So the information has to be listed so that National can be able to track and gather any more information, as well as reporting the EIN number and corresponding persons that are managing that chapter. And as far as address, what you provide, it is up to what you have agreed within your chapter. If it's your name and a PO box that you all have, I think that will depend on what your individual chapters has agreed to. And then this one is super important, is if at any time you change your chapter's bank account, and that happened within that tax filing year, you need to let National know and the treasurer. It is extremely important. It's a way to track where monies have been exchanged. And remember, we're dealing with the IRS, so we need to have very good bookkeeping as well as information tracking to make sure that we can backtrack and verify as well as reconcile anything that is needed. So you also have a bar here where you can text in, put in text where the explanation. If you changed in the first quarter, it is good to know when the account was changed. It is very helpful to identify why it was changed and who were the authorized signers. As much information as possible so that it is not done arbitrarily, but we have a good tracking information to go back to. It seems like it's second nature to think about this, but we have to be reminded that tracking and being able to revert and reference later on is crucial. And then the last, whoever the person is that is completing the survey. So put in your name, type in your name, and if you have any comments or anything, I'm sure you can contact the treasurer, and as well as MCI or the information at Hispanic Nurses Information, and gather whatever may be needed to help you complete this process. So we have tried to streamline it so that it's a one-stop shop. If you have any difficulty in completing this, please know again that you're not alone. There are people that can help you. Unlikely that it will be me. I'm just the messenger, but there are other persons that are highly capable. And that's it. And then you just hit submit and it goes out and National gets it. See? Voila, here it is. Okay. Thank you. I think that's my last slide.
Wonderful. And I do want to note, because I was confused on this the first year I filed this, profits are different from revenue. So if your chapter made $50,000, that's revenue. So if your account, if you brought in 50K, it doesn't matter if you spent it all or not. If you brought in 50K, that counts. So I was, not that Nebraska had 50K in and out, but when I was reading it, it's not profits, it's revenue. If that makes sense. But otherwise, amazing. Where's
Any
Armando?
questions on that?
Where's our cheerleader?
Are there any
I'm
questions
here.
to what our
I'm
content?
here. Great job. Great job as usual, Guillermina.
Thank you, guys.
A lot of knowledge. Thank you.
Any questions for Guillermina? How do you bring in $50,000? I don't know.
That's a good question.
All right.